Morning, Mr. Adams.
Good morning.
Mr. Adams, you're charged with possession of marijuana. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during any questions and interviews with the state of Texas. If you cannot afford a lawyer, the lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir.
Yes, Judge. The officer initiated a traffic stop after observing the defendant's vehicle run a red light and travel 73 miles per hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone. Upon contact, the officer observed a strong odor of marijuana and asked the defendant when he last smoked. The defendant stated, "You caught me, I just finished rolling one." The defendant then handed the officer the blunt, and then the defendant gave the officer 2 bags of marijuana, approximately 0.636 ounces of marijuana.
Did you say there was the odor of weed in the car?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Adams, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Do you have a valid Texas driver license?
Sir,
Run his license, please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have valid liability insurance in your name? Are you sure? Do you have car insurance?
yes, sir.
If you don't, you're not allowed to drive. I'm making that a condition of your bond, Mr. Adams. I want you to understand that I take it extremely serious. If you don't have car insurance, you get into an accident and you maim someone, they're going to come after you. Where if you have liability insurance, your insurance takes care of you for all those needs.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not putting any conditions on your bond. Just be careful. Don't pick up any new cases. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to reset your case to give you time to hire a lawyer. I'm going to have you go to Jemay, sign a reset. After that, we'll just get you out of here. And when you come back, please have a
Thank
lawyer.
you.
Okay? All right, be careful, man. Good morning, Ms. Bowman. Ma'am, you're charged with assault of a family member. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, ma'am.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
The complainant and the defendant are in a dating relationship and live together. On November 12th, 2024, the officer was conducting a neighborhood patrol and observed an on-view disturbance between a vehicle and a pedestrian. The complainant stated that he and the defendant got into a verbal argument. The defendant hit the complainant approximately 1 time and bit him approximately 2 times on his right bicep, causing pain. The officer observed visible injuries on the complainant's right bicep and his right upper eye. The defendant stated that she bit him because she thought he was going to hit her.
Okay, Ms. Bowman, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. Have you guys spoken to this person? Do we know whether he wants to continue to have contact with her or not? I'm sorry? Okay, don't say anything, please. I have a bunch of DAs here, and everything that you say, they're going to use it against you. They sit there, type it, so just don't say anything at this point.
A RIP was performed, Your Honor, and it.
So guys, CW is here if you want to try. Because unless I know that this person wants to have contact with you, I'm going to order you not to have contact with this person. It is a Kevin Callahan. Okay. That's Mr. Callahan with the beard.
Yes.
Right there. Okay. Regardless, even if he wants to have contact with you, I'm ordering you not to have any threatening or harassing contact with him. You need to understand what is threatening or harassing doesn't matter what you think. It's what he perceives. So if I go like this, is that threatening, harassing? It is, and it can land you in jail. Do you understand? Do we know if alcohol had anything to do with this, Alex?
There's no allegation of alcohol, Your Honor.
The only other thing I'm going to advise you, Ms. Bowman, is that a protective order has been issued in this case. I would get to know the protective order because if you do something to violate that protective order, the state can and will file additional charges against you. And a violation of a protective order is one of the worst cases you can pick up in misdemeanor court. You understand? Okay. What do you do for a living?
I work for a consulting company.
And what kind of money do you make a month?
If I keep my job, like 8,000.
Okay, we're going to give you time to hire a lawyer. You don't qualify for an appointed lawyer. So I'll have you sign a reset with Jemay, and then we'll just have you take a seat in the jury box right now while we work out the kinks as far as the no contact order. Okay, please. First, we'll have you sign a reset. Are you Xavier Luis Cruz? Mr. Cruz, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir.
The officer initiated a traffic stop after observing the vehicle failed to signal a lane change, and the officer detained all occupants in the vehicle because none were wearing seatbelts. The driver of the vehicle gave a verbal consent to search, and the officer searched the vehicle and located a black and red bag located on the right rear passenger floorboard where the defendant was seated. The officer located the following items: a clear baggie containing meth, ice, and Xanax, and 2 baggies and a scale, and 1 Glock 47.
Was he the driver?
He was the rear passenger, and that's where the bag was located, where he was seated.
Mr. Cruz, how old are you, sir?
18.
I'm sending you now for a drug test. You must come right back. When you come back, we'll talk about your lawyer situation. But if you fail to go test, if you fail to come back, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm going to have you sign a receipt with Jermaine. And then after that, we're just going to have you take a seat while we send you and then come right back. Don't leave.
Yes, sir.
All right. Blake Jenkins.
Okay.
Mr. Jenkins, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with 2 counts of terroristic threat. Was he on bond for this case and then he picked up a new case?
Yes, Your Honor, it appears so, that he was on bond for the.
He was literally on bond and then a week later he picks up a new case.
Can I say something?
Don't. Are you here with anyone today?
Sir.
Yes, just it appears correct. He was on bond and then he picked up the new case.
So as what I see, he picks up his first terroristic threat. We gave him a PR bond on November. So tell me if I'm wrong. So check this out. Tell me if I'm wrong, but it looks like both of these were just both 2Bs, meaning warrants had been issued, and he had not been picked up. This is Jenkins. And it looks like we picked him up all at one time, and he was given a PR bond on November 13th.
On the terroristic threat?
On both cases, they're both terroristic threats.
Yeah. Yeah, because it would have taken a month for him to get arraigned, so it must have been.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct. There were.
Okay, so he was not on
No, he
bond.
was not. There were both 2Bs, Your Honor.
Now, do you guys know the relationship of Ryan Kalal?
He was just a member at the gym that the defendant attends.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and do probable cause on both cases.
Okay,
So Mr. Jenkins, you're charged with 2 cases. You're charged with 2 counts of terroristic threat. One is against a family member. So on that one, you're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. Your other case is just against a garden variety civilian. So on that one, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir.
so for the terroristic threat involving a family member, the complainant and the defendant are brothers. The officer was dispatched to a residence in Harris County, Texas, in response to a family disturbance. The defendant was removing the complainant's belongings from the residence and putting them in the back of his own vehicle to prevent the complainant from getting his things. The complainant tried to remove his things from the back of the vehicle when the defendant stated, "I will kill you." The complainant was in fear for his life when the defendant said this. The defendant also later texted the complainant that if he touched his things again, that he would cause him severe pain. And then for the other terroristic threat, on October 26, 2024, the officer was dispatched to Crunch Fitness in regard to a terroristic threat. The officer made contact with the complainant. The complainant, the manager at the gym, stated the defendant was involved in verbal and physical altercations with other members, and multiple complaints were filed. The complainant stated that the defendant's membership was canceled due to the issue with other members and the defendant making threats. The defendant then continued acting aggressively after finding out this information and caused a disturbance by screaming and cursing loudly. The complainant told the defendant he needed to leave and not return. The defendant became more agitated, left the business, but returned multiple times. The complainant stepped out with the defendant and told the defendant repeatedly not to return. The defendant responded multiple times he was going to come back to the business and kill the complainant.
All right. So, Mr. Jenkins, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward on both of your cases. I'm now ordering you on both of your cases not to have contact with each of those witnesses and not to go where they either live or where they work. Do you understand? In the first case against your brother, a protective order has been issued. So I would get to know that protective order, because if you violate the protective order, they will file additional charges against you. You violate those conditions, I can hold you at no bond, zero bond until this case is over with. And I want you to know that I will protect every single person of Harris County by all means necessary. And if that means putting you in jail, locking you up at $100,000 bond, $50,000 bond, 2,000, whatever it may be, it's going to happen. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm also ordering you not to be in possession of any weapons as well. You're not to go back to Crunch Fitnesses also. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You pick up any known cases, violate even one iota of these conditions, I'm going to keep you with me. And I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be high. And if you don't have anyone to pony up that kind of money, $10,000 to get you out, you will be stuck like Chuck in custody until these cases are over with. And I'm going to tell you, it takes damn near 9 months just to get a 911 tape. Do you understand? How old are you? What do you do for a living?
I worked in catering, and then now I'm doing solar. So I'm a sales representative.
What kind of money you make a month?
I haven't made any money. Right now I'm living off unemployment checks because the money I had from my last job ran out, and the money that I'm making on my new job is all commission. So I have to close the deal before I have any income.
Who are you living with?
I'm actually living in my car at the moment.
Okay, I'll have you fill out an application for an appointed, actually, let me see your name. On this application, you says your spouse's salary is $10,000 a month. What does that mean?
My what?
It says under spouse's salary, $10,000. You make a total income of around $11,000 a month.
Did I fill that out? I didn't fill that out.
I'll have you fill out a new one then.
Okay.
So you're living in your car.
Yes.
How is that?
I mean, it's fine as long as it's not too
Bologna.
high.
Sucks. Sucks to live in your car, doesn't it?
I mean, I don't have any money, so I mean, it's better than the street.
What I'm trying to tell you is that when you're living in someone's house, under their roof, don't bite the hand that feeds you, because
It was my brother that I got it.
register what I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Jenkins. If you're under someone else's roof and they're kind enough to take you in, when you bite the hand that feeds you or burn a bridge, you never know when you may need to cross that bridge. Now you've burnt the bridge, you can't even cross that bridge. You're living in a car. Living in a car sucks. So be nice. It's not hard, especially when you're living under someone else's roof. It's not that hard. And if you get into an issue where you fight with someone or you're upset, walk away, find another release. Do you understand what I mean? It's not hard. Be nice. Do you mind giving me an application? I'm going to have you fill out this application because I need to know everything about you as far as money wise. I'm going to have you sign a reset with Jermaine, and then I'm going to have you take a seat in the jury box where we get all your orders ready and while I find you a lawyer. Okay? Okay.
So I'll
That one.
be on the court today.
Yeah, I'm going to have you talk to a lawyer today. So don't leave until I excuse you. Where's Mr. Cruz? Come up. So, Mr. Cruz, you're 18,
Yes, sir.
you're in a car. Alex, did anyone else get arrested in this?
Let me see, Your Honor.
Oh, so they charged him with the PCS, with the,
Yes, he does have a felony pending.
And there are no co-defendants in this, no other charges, no connected.
he's the only one.
He's the only one charged, Your Honor.
Wow. You realize that you're looking at 5 to life, minimum of 5 years in prison. You have any clue what they would do to you in prison, Mr. Cruz? Take a guess what they would do to you. Imagine your worst nightmare. It's worse. That's what you're charged with. So while you're out on bond, I would have a halo over your head, because if I find that you become a danger, If I find that you have a weapon, if I find that you hang out with any of these other people, I'm gonna lock you up. You're not to have any contact with any of these other people that you're in the car with. Do you understand?
sir.
Tell me what you're doing with yourself now in life.
Sorry, can you say that again?
What are you doing in life now?
Right now, I'm looking for a job.
Did you graduate from high school?
No, sir. I would like to get my GED though.
I am now making that a condition of your bond that we start working on your GED immediately and that you get a job. You have way too much time on your hands and you're now becoming self-destructive, as you see with a 5 to life charge that you have sitting over your head. It's not going to happen. You're not to use alcohol or marijuana, and I'm going to test you like crazy. And if I find that you're using, I will put you in custody. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you back in 2 weeks, and I want to see what you have done to start working on your GED. If you've done nothing, it's not going to go well. I'm going to give you sheets of paper now on how you can work on getting your GED free so you don't have to pay money. So there's no excuse. You are not doing anything. So as soon as you get home today, you start working on how to get your GED.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And when you come back, if you've done nothing as far as looking for jobs as well, you'll be working with me in custody. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Shatoria, do you mind printing me out those two, please? I have given you a lawyer. It is your responsibility to stay in touch with Antonio, and he will tell you when you have to come back to court. He is a really good, hard, tenacious lawyer. So there's no excuse why you can't do well in this life.
Yes,
But I'm
sir.
going to tell you now, we're not going to let the system fail you here. If you end up in custody, it's because you didn't do what you're supposed to do, and there's no excuse. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 2 weeks, I want to see you back here and show me what you've done to start working on your GED. And I want you to start filling out applications and start working.
Yes, sir.
Okay? All right. See you in 2 weeks.
All right, sir.
Have a seat.
Hold on.